Okay. So, different types of pricing strategies. What is skimming? Okay. We realize that when we come out with a new product, there may be a certain group of people who always want the latest and the greatest, who always want to be first to have something. So if we know that, we can what? We can price skim. We can set our early prices super high because they're going to buy it irregardless of what the price is. So that would be price skimming. Then we can lower the price over time. Okay. Penetration strategy is to price a product super low that everybody just wants to get it, and our competitors are like, oh man, that is so low, I can't make money there, and they'll stay away. Okay, so penetration pricing is a price so low that it gets all kinds of people to buy with the idea of I am getting into this market in a big way. Everyday low pricing is setting our prices lower than our competition and not really having any sales. Okay, everyday low pricing. So setting our prices low, and we don't need to have sales because our prices are just low all the time. Okay, high-low pricing is to have higher prices than your everyday low pricing competitors, but you have sales where you drop the price below them. Okay, so that's high-low pricing. And psychological pricing is pricing stuff at a price point that makes it appear less expensive than it is. And right now I'm drawing a blank on that one. If I think of a good example, I'll let you know. So there are other ways to compete. Price is not the only way to compete. Okay. What do I mean by that? Well, competing solely on price is becoming more and more difficult. With the advent of the internet, it is quite easy for consumers to figure out what the true price of an item is, okay, or how much it costs elsewhere. Okay, and like I said, I bet most of you, if not all of you, at one point have stood in a store in front of something and pulled your phone out to check the price of something. Okay. So as a result, we're looking for different ways that we can differentiate our products because the ability to differentiate on price is becoming less and less. So what are we using? We're using benefits, right? So we are trying to differentiate based on things beyond price, like style, convenience, association with an influencer, quality, durability. So even though our price is pretty much the same as the other person's, we offer what? We offer the brand image. We offer, LeBron uses ours. We offer better quality, longer warranty. And as a result of looking at these types of differences, service is becoming a more important tool in benefits to consumers. Okay, here's something else I've done. I'm sure you guys probably have too. I've gone into Best Buy to get some service-based information. Okay, I'm looking for a new X, and I know they've got lots of them there, so I'm going to go look. I can talk to the salesperson. I can find out information. And then the idea is that because they provided that service to me, I would purchase from them. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Okay, so service is becoming a better way to differentiate. I have a piece of software that I use for this course, and their chat people, because they have a chatbot built in, their chat people are super helpful and always seem to be there. It's a relatively small company as far as I can tell, yet whenever I go online and want something, they're always there. They're based in Europe, yet they have a real person manning a chatbot at times when they should probably be in bed. Good software, good service. As a result, I promote that to my colleagues. What else? Marketing intermediaries. These are people that are between us and our customers. That's the intermediary part of it. Marketing portion of it is that ability to help us move our marketing efforts along. Okay, it could be straight distribution, it could be logistics, it could actually be doing some of the marketing work for us. Okay, but they're all different types of marketing intermediaries. Just anybody or any organization that is there to help us move our products along from us to our consumers. Channels. You will hear a lot about channels. Channels are how we get our products from a producer to a consumer. Okay, and they can involve many different marketing intermediaries. Okay, so what are some of the examples I have here? Agents, brokers, wholesalers, retailers. All right, so if we sell at Walmart, we make something, we have to somehow get it to Walmart. How do we get it to Walmart? Do we go and try and sell directly to Walmart? Maybe, maybe not. We might use an agent to go sell it to Walmart for us, who has an established history and relationship with Walmart. Once they've done that, then what happens? Well, I don't have a bunch of trucks, so I have to hire a truck to get it to the Walmart warehouse. Okay, there's another intermediary. Then it's at the Walmart warehouse, then Walmart becomes part of the marketing intermediary, who then gets it from their warehouse to the stores. Right? So how we get our product from our manufacturer or provider to our consumer is a channel. Okay, I gave you a very brief retail channel. Let's use Amazon. There's an online channel. All right. Somehow I need to get my product into Amazon's warehouse. How do I do that? Or do I sell it directly from my website as a direct-to-consumer model? Okay, so lots of different types of channels. So let's look at how things get to our consumers. If we see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the left, here are some ways that we can get our products to consumers. First one is D2C, direct to consumer. Right? It's known as a direct channel. It goes from the manufacturer to the end user. Okay. Retailer, cars, furniture, clothing. Okay, very often it goes from the manufacturer straight to a retailer and then the consumer. Cars, clothing, furniture. Think of GM. GM makes a car, or Toyota makes a car. They what? They basically sell it directly to the retailer, who then sells it to us. Same thing with clothing. Look at the Gap or H&M, right? They get stuff direct from manufacturer. And furniture as well. They buy direct from manufacturer. So for a lot of consumer goods like food, cosmetics, those kinds of things, it will go through a wholesaler before the retailer. Okay, so we'll have kind of an aggregator at a wholesaler level. Whereas if we look at cosmetics, right, there's dozens of cosmetics manufacturers. They'll go to a wholesaler, then the wholesaler will provide all of that directly to a retailer like Shoppers Drug Mart. What else? Food items. So now we're in the fourth one over. So the farmer grows the food, goes through a broker, to a wholesaler, to a retailer. What else? Service like stocks and bonds, your broker, real estate, insurance, these type of things will go through a broker before they get to us as the consumer. And what else? Nonprofit organizations raising money will very often have their own stores. The examples here are things like museums. What's it called? Habitat for Humanities, the Restore. That's what it's called, right? So they will take things and sell them to consumers in order to raise money for their cause. If we look at industrial goods will very often go direct to consumer or direct to B2B, right? They will use a direct channel, and sometimes they'll use a wholesaler. Okay, if it's an expensive thing like farm equipment or big machinery for mines, very often you buy that directly from the manufacturer. For smaller items that are reused or used a lot of or consumable, very often those will go through a wholesaler. So, how can our intermediaries help us? Okay, how can our intermediaries help us? That is, so very often when we make things, our focus is on our business. It's on making the good. And we don't have the time, energy, money, or know-how necessarily to get the good out to where our consumers can buy it. Okay, so that's where intermediaries come in. They can help us move things, they can help us store things, they can help us sell things, they can advertise things, they can build the relationship, or we can leverage on their existing relationships. Okay, and as a result, guess what? They can do something we can't, and or they can do things at a better price point than we could because they have that infrastructure. Okay, so by using intermediaries, we can what? We can leverage other people's knowledge, expertise, and relationships to the benefit of all, including us, because they can do it cheaper than we could establish it. So I am not quite sure why Dougie Dog is in here, because I don't think Dougie Dog exists anymore, but Dougie Dog actually got a Guinness Book of World Records for having the most expensive hot dog. And I actually ran a hot dog cart once, and so I actually went to Dougie Dog. They did have a brick and mortar location. At one point, I went there, met Dougie, had the whole thing, the whole 9 yards. He went through everything. You had to order this hot dog at least a day in advance because it required very special ingredients that he didn't keep on hand. And this was probably 2012, 2013 maybe. And it was $100 Canadian then for a single hot dog. It was neat to do once because I had run a hot dog stand for a while, and that whole experience was quite interesting. And it was a pretty tasty hot dog, I must admit. So retail is not dead. Okay, it may be dying, it may be going downhill, but it's not dead yet. Okay, Amazon hasn't quite killed it yet. So that's it. Let's look at a number of different types of retail stores. One is called a category killer. Basically, it sells one thing and tries to dominate that market, right? Chapters, bookstores, Indigo Books, they are a music store. Sleep Country Canada, they are a mattress store. Best Buy, electronics. Although you walk in, Best Buy is broadly electronics because they have quite a diverse set of products now. Staples, they are a office supply store. So category killer, we want one category, that's what we go after. Convenience stores, they are there to make things easier for us. 7-Eleven, Circle K, Couche-Tard. That's one in Quebec, by the way. They are in locations where you drive by a lot. They are there for you to pick up some things that you can get quickly. Okay. Department stores, They traditionally have been big and have lots of floor space, and very often you will have them in a mall. They're referred to in a mall as an anchor store. If you are an anchor store in a mall, guess what? You pay up to 1/10 of the rent of the average people inside the mall. Yes, you heard that right. You pay up to 10% of the rent that they do in the mall, or a 90% discount compared to what people in the mall are paying. Why? Several reasons. One is, if you are that big store in the mall, you traditionally have been a draw. Why? Because people used to buy a lot from department stores. So if you are Hudson's Bay, then very often that is the big brand name. You are the anchor store, and people will go there because the Hudson's Bay was there traditionally. That is changing, as we've seen big retail get into a lot of trouble, even though they are paying pretty significantly less rent on a per square foot basis than most other stores in the mall. Discount stores, we see these all around. They are there to provide low-priced items. Then we also have off-price retailers or outlet stores. What are they? They are stores that offer discounted prices on things like last year's clothing. Marshalls, Winners. So they have discounts based on overstock from manufacturers and other retailers, based on last year's things and items like that. We have superstores where you can buy almost anything. The Real Canadian Superstore. We have one in Walmart, in Kamloops. We also have a Walmart Supercenter. Basically, it has lots of stuff at pretty good prices. Okay, and we don't need a membership. We compare that with the Warehouse Club, which sells a lot of stuff, usually in big quantities that a membership's required. And in Canada, we have Costco. In the States, they have Sam's, which is a Walmart derivative. And we also have supermarkets. And supermarkets are generally biggish grocery stores that can also sell some other things as well. Okay, so different types of retails. So one of the decisions we need to make is how we are going to get our product out there. How are we going to distribute it? Right? Intensive distribution, let's put it out into as many retail outlets as possible. Let's just get it out. Selective distribution, we only put it into a certain number of retailers in any given area. So we're not trying to get it everywhere. We just want it in, I don't know, sports stores. We want it in high-end sports stores. We want it in golf stores, for instance. And we have exclusive distribution. That is, we literally put it in a very select group of stores, and very often it is geographically based. Okay, we will only sell this in one store in Kamloops. Okay, one store in Kelowna, maybe two in Vancouver. Okay, exclusive distribution. So, how else can we get our products out? Well, certainly electronic retailing or straight to consumer. I think I might have told you I'm currently working with a company as an advisor, and they have shifted from mostly traditional retail to online, direct to consumer. Okay, not through Amazon, but direct to consumer. They haven't fully pulled away from retail yet, traditional retail. Will they? Maybe. We'll see what happens. One of the things we've been doing is increasing price to traditional retail to try and restore some profits. And they're still selling there. So for now, it looks like that will stay. What else? Telemarketing. This is selling stuff by phone. Right? We don't get many of these anymore. We used to get them a lot more. Telemarketing calls. They always seem to happen around dinner time when I was a kid. What else? Vending machines, kiosks, and cars. So we can throw stuff into a machine. What's the advantage of that? It doesn't cost us anything for labor. Right? We just have somebody come around and restock the machine. Kiosks and carts are those small things in the middle of the mall you see. Lower costs because we're not having a huge amount of floor space. And kiosks and carts generally only have 1 or 2 employees, so we don't have a huge labor force as well. And again, we can sell anything in vending machines, kiosks, and carts. At the airport, I've seen Apple iPhones in vending machines. I've seen Beats headsets. I've seen Bose speakers. At the mall in Kamloops, they used to have a vending machine that sold acne medicine. Okay, so yeah, we can sell things in lots of different ways and lots of different things. And direct selling is selling directly to people in their homes or work. You ever had somebody knock on your door? Around Kamloops, one of the big ones is painting. In the spring, you'll see the students from university painters or student painters knock on your door and say, hey, where was such and such a company? Do you need any painting done? The other one that is big is a company called Vivint, V-I-V-E-N-T. I've had quite a few students who've worked for them over the years. Vivint sells security systems, and they do it all direct selling, door to door. So how can we get stuff, right? We've got a distribution channel, but we need to move it. So there's all different kinds of ways to move it, and there's benefits and detriments to all of them. So railroad. Canada is a big country. We have 2 big railroads, and it was key to growing Canada. Cost, medium. Speed, slow. It takes a long time. On-time dependability, medium to medium-high, I'd say. Flexibility in handling products, pretty high. They can take a lot of things by train. Not a lot of shipment frequency compared to other methods, and we can have a high reach, high impact. Trucks. Trucks have a high cost. Why? Because you've got a truck pulling a single heavy load. Okay, the advantage is it's fast. We can get stuff moving pretty quick, pretty decent dependability on time, decent flexibility in handling products, a lot of shipments, so frequency's high, and the reach is the highest. Yes, we can drive a truck almost anywhere. Pipelines. Pipelines, its relative cost is low. Speed, not too bad. On-time dependability, you put it in the pipeline one end, it comes at the other end, you know when. Not a lot of flexibility. Pipelines tend to be single product. We put X through our pipeline. We can continually put stuff into the pipeline. So yes, we can have a very high frequency. And our reach is the lowest because it will literally only go where we send the pipeline. How is it different than railroad? Well, we've built a lot of railroads across a lot of places. The pipelines, we have built to much fewer places. Ships, lowest cost on a ship. Why? You can put a lot of product on a ship compared to the amount of fuel and materials it uses. And human resources is one of the materials in this case. Certainly the slowest speed, on-time dependability is hugely variable, hugely variable. A student asked me a question last week about shipping into the United States and why things are so low. And one of my clients told me that they have had a ship in Los Angeles port waiting to undock for 2.5 weeks, I think, already, and they were expecting another 3 to 4 days. And normally it would be a 1 to 3 day time in port. Okay, so what has that caused? Well, if you've got to wait 2.5, 3 weeks in one port, you're not moving on to your next port in order to take off the stuff off your ship in the next port, right? So if there's another delay there, then every port down the road gets extended and extended and extended. And this is where the on-time variability is huge. Okay, a couple of years ago, I had something sent from Japan on a cargo ship, and it was supposed to take, I can't remember, like 8 to 10 weeks maybe, and it took almost double. So stuff happens with ships. And airplanes, certainly it is the fastest, but that comes at a cost. And what is the cost? It is expensive to put stuff on airplanes. Okay. It says on-time dependability is low. I'd say low to medium, probably. Flexibility in handling products low. They don't have a lot of space on airplanes, so it doesn't give them a whole lot of flexibility. And our reach is only to where the airplanes fly, hence medium. So what goes into our promotion and promotion mix? Okay, certainly everything revolves around our product, and the things that we can do with that are advertising, public relations, sales promotion, personal selling, direct marketing. Okay, so what are some of the advertising media we can use out there, and the advantages and disadvantages? Certainly, we would pick and choose our various advertising media based upon what? Based upon what our target market uses. Okay? Think about the last time you personally bought a newspaper and read it. Okay? My guess is for most university students, that is a pretty, or would be a pretty low number. Okay? Versus how many times you what? Pull out your cell phone to look at social media. So depending on our target market, we would choose different types of media to advertise in. If I was going after anybody over 65, newspapers would probably be a good way to go. Okay, I don't know the stats off the top of my head, but my gut tells me that the average age of a newspaper reader is older and older every year. Okay. Television, again, television is a medium for older people now. Why? Well, I'll ask you this. For those of you not living at home, for those of you who are on your own, do you pay for a cable subscription? Most people in the university I know do not. They get their entertainment through the internet. Netflix, YouTube, Hulu, Roku, Apple TV, Disney TV. So traditional television is what? Belongs to an older generation. Radio, again, this is becoming more of a generational thing, right? Traditional radio. I am, I think, the last person in my family who listens to music on the radio. Yeah, I have Spotify too. But when I'm driving around in the car, I just find it easier if I'm somewhere that has a station I like to put on the radio there. My wife listens to a lot of CBC, and she will do it both on the radio and through apps. Okay. But again, what do you do when you get into a car? I can always tell when my kids are leaving. I hear a car start, and it's usually about 3 minutes before they drive away. Why? Because that's when they turn the car on. They hook up Spotify through Bluetooth to the car stereo. They select their music mix for that drive, and then eventually they leave. Right? So we have all these different vehicles for advertising, and we need to make sure we are picking the right vehicle for advertising to match up with who our target market is. So what about in the B2C space? How does our process work? Well, if we have the opportunity to speak face-to-face, or we what? Or we have the opportunity to set up a customer journey electronically, or we have, no, I'm going to leave it at that. So we've got the approach. Somehow we need to start talking with our potential customer. We can ask questions, make a presentation, ask for the sale. That's what close the sale means. That means get the sale, and then we can follow up. And how we do this is dependent on our target market, how we're in contact with them. Is it electronic? Is it face-to-face? And we can figure out what our customer journey is. This is one of the big trends in marketing right now, particularly digital marketing, is figuring out how to go after a customer and what that journey looks like. Okay, I have just opened up a customer journey. This is a piece of software that is used for marketing. And what happens? So here I start the campaign. It sends an email. Okay. If there is an error sending the email, it does what? It sends an email down here to me. Once it sent the email to me, then it goes back into the holding pattern. This is a holding pattern. If it is delivered, looked at, or clicked, if there's a link, it goes into the holding pattern. What happens? It waits for 2 days and then sends a text. What happens? If the text is not delivered, it sends me an email to say, hey, the text wasn't delivered. If the text is delivered, it goes into a holding pattern. It goes into a holding pattern for a day. Then the next day, it sends another text. And then if the other text is not delivered, it sends me an email. Okay, nice and simple, nice and direct. This is a customer journey. We can bring in emails. We can bring in direct calls. We can bring in voicemails. Okay, this is one avenue that we can use as part of our customer journey. So that is a live marketing tool. So let's look at a few of our potential sales promotion techniques. Coupons. Coupons can what? Stimulate demand. Right? So what else? Very often we have tasters at the grocery store, right? Here, taste our product. Oh, guess what? It's on sale. Okay, so we can stimulate demands with tastings. We can stimulate demands with coupons. We can have deals. Okay. What are some of the advantages of a deal? It can give somebody the opportunity to try. Okay, at a reduced price. Premiums. We can offer a extra for the product. What's the upside? Is that it can what? Encourage our goodwill or goodwill towards us from the customer because they're giving them something extra. We can have contests. Okay. In order to enter the contest, you need to send in 2 box tops. Okay. It can increase our flow through, increase the number of products bought. Sweepstakes, again, encouraging people to buy more with the added opportunity of something extra. Samples, I already talked about. Samples work. That's why you see them in the grocery store all the time. You also see them in the liquor store now. You can go get a sample of wine. They give you a little tiny sip. Oh, that tastes good. I'll buy a bottle. At Save On here, when they used to have sampling, you could sample the wine, and then very often that wine was $2 off a bottle. So you get a coupon as well. Loyalty programs. Loyalty programs encourage people to come back. Airplanes have them. Grocery stores have them. What else? Technically, Costco has a loyalty program. If you're an executive member of Costco, you actually get like 2% back on your purchases. Okay, that is another thing that Costco does. Point of purchase displays. You ever seen a special display set up, again, usually in the grocery store? It's like, hey, we've got X. You'll see them in Walmart. You'll see them in Canadian Tire as well. It is to what? Capture your attention and give you that visual. Rebates encourages people to buy and can stop sales decline. One of the interesting things about rebates is very often the rebate comes with a store coupon or a store piece of paper, and you have to send in your receipt. You have to send in the UPC code from the package, and you have to send in the coupon. You can do that electronically in some cases now, just taking pictures of things, but the difficulty is they want that actual physical coupon often to show that you did buy it and aren't just asking for the rebate. Interesting thing is many people will take that rebate coupon and buy it because it has a rebate and then never actually go through the process of submitting it. The numbers of rebates actually returned is usually pretty low in most circumstances. Product placement. Basically, product placements can occur in a lot of different places. I tend to like to talk to them about them in movies and things like that. When I worked for a large software company, we had a couple of people whose job was dedicated to getting our products into movies and TV shows. And they always got excited when one of our products actually showed up in a movie, and they'd send a clip around. And so basically we had software. So our software at the time came in big boxes. And so anytime there was a bookshelf, anytime there was an office scene, the goal was to get one of our product boxes in the picture. So that's product placement. Where else do we see product placement? We see product placement on race cars. Yeah, actually not so much product placement, but direct advertising on race cars. So all different ways we can look at product promotion. What else? Word of mouth. Word of mouth is awesome because it doesn't cost us anything. Okay. Word of mouth is people telling other people what great products we have. Again, if we can get to the point in our consumers' heads that our product is uniquely qualified to meet their needs, then what? Then we're happy. Why? Because we have a loyal customer, and chances are they are telling other people about it. And if you don't think you tell your friends and relatives about products you like, you do. Okay. Probably not as much as me and Heinz Ketchup with you guys or Crest toothpaste, but think about it. Think about how many times I have used those two products specifically as examples. Every time you hear me say that, that contributes to your impression of that product in your brain, right? So every time I say those products, it contributes to your impression of that product in your brain. Whether that is good or bad is dependent on a lot of things. I still talk about those products in good terms. So generally, your brain is getting positive messages about that product. What could turn those positive messages into negative messages? How you feel today. How you feel about me today. How you feel about me in general. If for some reason you don't like me, then when I recommend a product, you will dislike that product based on association. If you like or respect the source mentioning the product, then that will generally be a positive in your brain. Okay, so word of mouth can be positive or negative, and can generally take a positive message and turn it negative for reasons beyond the control of the person giving the message. Viral marketing. We've all heard about videos going viral, and that's generally where we hear the word viral these days, about videos. Video went viral. Viral's been around for a long time. Okay, well before we heard the term that video went viral. So basically, it is when it happens, people will not necessarily organically, but people will share a video or share the message on and on and on. Okay, how do videos go viral these days? Well, certainly if Kim Kardashian used your product, or if she forwarded a video or things like that, that is one way to make them go viral. But stuff happens. Do you remember the video of the gentleman on the skateboard with the cranberry juice? Right? Here's a guy just cruising on a skateboard, living his best life, listening to music, drinking ocean spray cranberry juice right out of the big bottle. Right? He's just living his best life. Video goes viral. Man, if I was the product manager for cranberry juice for ocean spray, I would be ecstatic. Okay, so that's what some places try and do, and sometimes they try and do it through influencers. Sometimes it just happens, and those are the best ones, in my opinion, when it happens organically. So what else? Blogs. Okay. Can't believe in 2019 some prof actually thought we needed to describe what a blog was to university students. An online diary that looks like a web page, but it's easier to create and update by posting text, photos, or links to other sites. Yeah, get with the times. So yes, we can use blogs. We like blog mentions. Very often we will give products to bloggers. And from that, let's extrapolate that to vloggers as well. So bloggers and vloggers both still exist. Both have lots of people who follow their respective things, whether it's a blog or a vlog. So we can do that. We can get our word out as part of our marketing and promotion. And podcasting, there are a lot of podcasts out there. We can advertise on podcasts. We can create a podcast around a specific topic that has something to do with our products. So all different types of ways of using media. I'm sure you guys can think of more. What else? Push strategy. So what is a push strategy? Basically, it is using all of our tools and abilities to push stock into the channel, to push stock through to our consumer. Okay, so the whole goal is to fill up our channel and to push stock out of there. A pull strategy, on the other hand, goes after the consumer, and that is to get them to want the product. Okay, so the difference from a consumer perspective is I walk into the store, I see a standalone unit that has the product in, they've got a sample person there giving me samples, they've got coupons. That's push. Okay, that is me going in, seeing all this, and that is push onto me, the consumer. As a consumer, what's a pull strategy? A pull strategy is getting the advertising and promotion efforts directly to me. Maybe through a vlog that I follow, maybe through direct email, maybe through a text. And that gets me thinking, oh man, look at that. They've got a sale on salsa. Man, I'm going to get salsa next time I go to the grocery store. I've got a coupon on my phone. So I go into the grocery store. Now I'm looking for salsa. I'm looking for that salsa. Okay. So push versus pull, those are two examples of how you can recognize them as a consumer. So, oh man, what do we need to know here? So, our total product offering is everything that our consumers evaluate when trying to make a purchase. Everything from packaging to the product to the service level to how they're going to get it, to delivery charges, to taxes, to anything that has an influence. That's part of our total product offering. Okay. Our products tend to follow some sort of life cycle, and theoretically that's introduction, growth, maturity, decline. Okay. Introduction, okay, growth, maturity, decline. Small window on my video today. Okay. And where you gain or lose your profits in that will shift a little. It doesn't exactly mirror what's going on in that one graph on that page. Just be aware of that. But the goal is to what? The goal is to make sure we can get as much of a profit as we can under the conditions that we need to. Pricing's hard. It is. It's super hard. But some of the influences that go into our pricing decisions is how much profit do we want? Are we trying to increase market share? Are we trying to penetrate a market? Are we trying to be a luxury good? Are we creating an image? What are we trying to do? And those will have an impact on our pricing. Okay. There's also non-pricing strategies that can have an impact on the value. Things like service, extended warranties, education. How do we build a customer relationship? And these will have a bigger impact due to access to technology and that ability to find out what the true price of something is. Okay, remember, I'm pretty sure every single one of you has stood in front of a product in a store and Googled it to see if you could find it cheaper elsewhere, or Googled it to find out some information about it. Okay. Retailers, that's where our consumers buy our stuff sometimes, right? There's online retailers, there's brick and mortar retailers, and we can actually retail our own products. We can go direct to consumer. And what type of retailer we use depends on what our strategies are. And exclusive, selective, or intensive strategies that we talked about, intensive being we put it everywhere in every channel and whatever, exclusive being we have one store in this city kind of thing. Those can also be online versus real-time, face-to-face, right? So we can have an exclusive online retailer. We can exclusively sell through Amazon. A lot of companies do, right? So what else? Promotion. That is our effort to tell our potential customers about our products and to help them engage with us. Okay? So the goal of promotion is to get them to buy, to get them to engage and buy. Okay? We can sell directly. We can use public relations, which we didn't talk about too much. You can read about that. We can use promotions. Okay, this is one of the reasons why marketing is also so much fun and fascinating. Is there are so many things going on. There are so many moving parts. There are so many things we can tweak. Okay, and you have all been exposed to it from your first sentient thought. Okay. An average 2-year-old can recognize 2,000 different corporate logos. Okay, it's unbelievable. So that said, this is the end of marketing. Have a great day, everybody.